inspired. I love it. I love it. I want to know about a challenge or a hardship that you were just like, man, I don't know how I'm going to overcome this. And you really had to tap in deep within yourself and really have faith to overcome that challenge. Take us to that place.
I'll be honest with y'all, because I feel like I'm only 26, so I feel like I'm, not to put an age on the ladies, I feel like I'm a little closer in age to you guys, so I understand you're still trying to figure out what's really going on. And I'll be very honest with you, every day is a challenge for me. Like, I don't ever have a day where it's just like fully smooth and I'm just like, oh, yes, everything is working out, everything is perfect. Unrealistic, it doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't. And I think with that being said, before I used to look at it as something that could, just ruin me and ruin my outlook on how I feel about myself. But realistically, it was like, okay, I have these challenges because I'm going for something. So if I'm going for something, I need to make the challenges my friend rather than, be so mad at myself and get discouraged. So if you gotta cry for a little bit, take a couple tears, take a couple deep breaths, and continue to do what it is that you gotta do. So every day is a challenge for me. I think one of my biggest challenges may have had to be, I would say, coming off of a tour. After I did a tour with New Edition. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but after I got off a tour with New Edition, I was really trying to figure out, like, I just did one of the biggest things in my life. And when I was done, I didn't even get to enjoy it so much because I was thinking about the next thing. Like, okay, what am I going to do next? What's the next song I'm going to put out? What's the next video? And it was such a challenge because I was on such a high, and now I had to figure out what was next. Like, how am I going to have that same feeling again? And it was difficult. And as time went on, I prayed on it, worked towards it. I ended up making the next song that I really, really loved and releasing it. And it was amazing for me. It worked out for me. So,
To piggyback off what she said, life is gonna life you, right? Every day you're gonna wake up. Don't think that you're special, because you're not. Things happen to everybody, right? No, for real. You're not exempt from life and what it's gonna throw at you. The only thing you have to control is how you respond to it, right? So life is gonna life you. If you're dealing with something, turn your pain into purpose. Get a reward from it, right? Because it's gonna happen. Listen. Let me keep it a buck with y'all. Life is going to hit you, and you're going to want to lay down and stay there, but get up. Get up, because life is lifing you for a reason. Those tests that you're going through, turn it into a testimony so somebody behind you can see what's possible for them. By showing up how you're going to win. Through your win, somebody's going to be rewarded and be like, well, if they did it, I could do it too. So, my biggest challenge was when I got fired. I was like, whoa, now you go from a structure where you have to get up every day at a certain time, you have to be at a place at a certain time, so now you have the whole day. And as an entrepreneur, if you don't build a structure for yourself, that day's gonna go by, and another day's gonna go by, and another day's gonna go by, and then you look back and you're like, well, I didn't accomplish anything, because you didn't build a structure for yourself. Structure is important, right? I know you guys as kids right now, you're like, I want to stay up late, and I want to do all these things. But if you have a structure for yourself right now, in 5 years, you'll be ahead of a lot of people that is probably 10 years older than you. So build a structure for yourself. Don't allow life to hit you and not get back up, because it's going to happen. So I just want you guys to know that your pain, there's a purpose tied to your pain. So always know that no matter what it's looking like right now, the storm is going to come, but there will always be a rainbow. You probably heard this 10,000 times, but I'm a living testimony because, like, when I had my daughter, I bald right now, right? All my hair fell out as a part of the process, so I shaved it off, right? And then I almost died shortly after. And when you almost come to that point, you start to look at life a lot different. And that's when I started to ask God or the universe, as you know, we in school, stay in school, but religion in school, but you start to ask the universe, what is my purpose? Because you don't want to live every day and wake up and not be happy. Like, happiness is something that's inward. Don't look for it outside. You got to look for it inward. You got to make you happy. You got to know that you got to love on you. Love on you. Don't expect nobody to give you nothing. Work for it. Push through it. Conquer through it. And get some reward for your pain.
So I would say one of my biggest challenges was in 2022 when I was working for a judge. I had a job that many lawyers dream for, and I got it right at the very beginning of my career. I was very grateful, and the only reason I got that job was because of all the networking I did as a law student, as a college student, keeping up and networking in my community, which is Staten Island. I know you guys might not consider that a borough, I'm sorry. But having that job and then realizing that this isn't my dream, even though it's other people's dream, and everyone was telling me, oh my God, you're a court attorney, like this is fabulous, how do I get there? I want to do that job. And although I loved it, I knew that my purpose was something else. I didn't fully enjoy my time there. The people were great, the job was great, but I wanted to do something else. And I almost felt bad, like I'm in a really good place that people would kill for this position. And am I not being grateful? Like, did the universe or did God hand me this gift? And am I not being grateful? And I decided, like, listen, I know what I want to do. I want to have my own firm. I want to be my own boss. I want to believe in myself. And so the challenge was turning down this steady paycheck where I got a paycheck from the state of New York every other week. I knew I had a job guaranteed. I wasn't worried about anything. And I took the leap of faith to open my own practice, only being an attorney for 1.5 years at the time, and people would look at me like I'm crazy, like, you know, how are you gonna just go work for yourself? You don't have years of experience. People wait 5-10 years before opening up their own practice. They go work for big law firms. And so I guess the challenge was believing that I could do it, and trusting the process, and a little bit of closing my eyes and hoping for the best. And so I started in September of 2022, and now it's March. I have over 100 clients, and I'm very grateful. So I would say, even if you're comfortable somewhere, but you want to do something else, trust yourself, believe in yourself. And what I told myself was, okay, the worst that could happen is that I fail. And I'm not immune to failure. I'm human like everybody else. And if I fail, I will get back up and try something else. So that's the important. Failure is inevitable. It will happen to everybody, even the mighty fall. The important part is to get back up.
I would say the biggest challenge is sacrifice, learning that you have to sacrifice the fun now for success later. Does anyone here want to be a nurse later on? Anyone want to go to nursing school? Just know you have to sacrifice no matter what you want to do. You're going to miss parties, you're going to miss family events, but in the end when you look back, you take that sacrifice and it gets you where you really want to be.